We uploaded a video every single Friday for the last year, the last 52 weeks in a row, and here's what happened. Hopefully this video is reaching people outside of our normal audience, so if you don't know who we are, my name is Alex and this is Thomas, and we run a guitar shop called Flash Flood of Gear, and we travel all over the world really looking for cool guitars, and we document the journey and document what we find on this channel. Even if you are not into guitar and all that specifically, I still think this video will have some interesting stuff for you, as we're just gonna kind of go over what happened in a year of filming videos, as I know a lot of you guys out there are starting your own channels and you want to see what happens. You want to see like some real life examples of where your channel can go. As of today, we have 3.3K subscribers, so not nothing, but also nothing crazy, and our channel certainly didn't blow up overnight. What's important with that is that like anything that we've done, you can do too. Wanted to take a look back at the videos that we've made over the last year and see how they've progressed, and then at the end, I want to talk about both of our takeaways from doing all of these videos, because I think we've both learned a lot.
Hopefully you see a nice progression of quality.
Right. Let's start watching some videos. Oh, we're starting. Okay. This is actually more than a year old. This is the first time that me and Thomas collabed on a video for the shop. This is the first thing we ever uploaded. There's no like talking in this video.
Right, there isn't.
Yeah, I had just hired Thomas to like showcase a few cool guitars that we got. I got this from my friend Dan, and it was one of like my favorite guitars we had at the time. And this is before we had a bunch of AVRIs at any given moment. This was like the only AVRI I had in the shop at the time. Look in the back, man. Oh man, the inventory is a little weak.
Yeah. There's so like few guitars and the wall is still white back there. There's definitely more room in the shop at this point too. It's not actually that bad. It's holding up rather well, I'd say.
Yeah, I bought too many guitars in Dallas. I think this is technically the first video of the 52.
Yes, I would say I bought too many guitars in Dallas is the first one. Because we were shooting some videos, like those one-offs, and then we kind of started off with the PVT 60, and then we did the Music Master.
Yeah. Kind
of not in a consistent schedule, and then the Dallas video was like the first.
This is the first vlog we did.
Yeah. I didn't film this one, so...
Oh, yeah.
I had to comp all this footage together after the fact.
So we sent Eric... Yeah, you can see. I mean, Thomas is just in the video.
I'm literally sitting there. I'm not filming.
We sent Eric to Dallas.
It's Eric and Damien?
Everyone's in the video!
Yeah, this was Eric, Damien, and me.
Also, Colin makes a cameo, and he wasn't even working at the shop.
Yeah.
He's in the video.
The shop was so different. Yeah, we rented the Suburban. This was the first time that we went out of state for a guitar show.
This was filmed long before it was actually edited.
At this point, we knew we wanted to do YouTube, but we didn't know what it was gonna be. And at that point in time, there was not a budget to just be like, hey, Thomas, do you wanna like have a salary and do videos like for the shop part-time? It was like, oh, we can pay someone like to do this one thing, which you're never gonna get consistency doing that. There's actually a lot in this scene that didn't get shown. I interviewed everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was pretty great.
Was it?
I thought it was entertaining.
So this is interesting because you can actually see some of this that I filmed in the much more recent Dallas video.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar layout actually. It's rather interesting.
Same venue. I think this video motivated Thomas to approach me to make the offer to become the guy who does all of this, because he was like, okay, there's something here. I don't want to speak for you actually.
Well, it's not that it wasn't done well. I think Eric did a good job with what knowledge he had or has.
Yeah.
But like it felt more like, because as you'll see, Eric's doing a lot of the talking, and Eric isn't the main character of
right.
It's you. So it was a great Eric vlog, and it wasn't like a Flash of the Gear vlog, if that makes sense. So I wanted to, whether it was me filming it or Eric continued to film, however that worked out, it just needed to shift to be a little different, I think. Is this?
That's the first Fresh Finds we ever did.
So I think this is the first Fresh Find, the first time like I properly, I think filmed everything.
Yeah. So I remember this. I remember I went to go pick up like one guitar or two from like a deal that was already arranged, and then they ended up having like way more stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I have like a dozen guitars that came in today or that week or whatever it was. And I was like, Thomas, come film this. It'll be super simple and we'll just put it out. The thing was, this wasn't surprising. This wasn't like, oh wow, I can't believe Alex got a dozen guitars in one day. It was like, this keeps happening. We should start filming this, because every week I was having a haul like this.
Like, it's not a running joke. It's the truth. You just buy too many guitars.
Yeah.
It's not even a bit.
Now they just come to me. I don't have to try as much.
I think our audio
got way better after this.
Yeah, I spent more time mixing stuff.
It became a challenge of like as weird as it sounds, we had to spend less time per guitar because the videos were just dragging on and on and on and on, and this wasn't the vibe.
It was all learning, because you're trying to hit that 10-minute point,
right?
The optimal, because we already knew like we were gonna try and get monetized, so we knew what we needed to do, and I think we actually were doing more than we needed to, actually making it harder on ourselves.
Guitarlington was a big video. When I think of what was our first video, I actually wasn't thinking of any of the ones we just watched. I think of this video.
It's like the first proper, bigger vlog video kind of thing.
Yeah. I do want to point out, you can see my hair starts shorter and gets longer every video, including this video, and it's because I haven't cut it since we started filming YouTube videos, because my boy moved to Tennessee and I can't get my hair cut now.
I've had to find a new barber as well.
Yeah,
it's just ruined all of our lives. First world
Josh,
problem.
if you're watching, and we know that you are.
So, from my side, you can tell like I wasn't factoring in how shaky it can be, and I think that's just, I've shot more music videos prior to this. For the kind of music videos like for hardcore or metalcore things, like you're not concerned about stabilization as much with the style that I was doing, so I wasn't even thinking about that. Going from that to a more kind of this kind of format was a slight adjustment for me at first, and I think it wasn't until Japan video that I really locked down on it, because I think we were getting more views by then too, and some people were commenting on it, so I made an effort. So now if I freehand without a gimbal, I make an incredible effort to have it as stable as possible. And yes, I do have image stabilization on the camera. It's just if you're moving so much, it's hard to, it can only do so much.
Right.
And in post, you can only do so much too.
I think this is a good time to mention, Thomas at this point was already a very accomplished photographer, videographer, graphic designer, all the things. And I thought that asking him to do our videos would be a step down, so from like what he was used to doing. So that probably was more of the reason that it didn't happen sooner than anything, because I was like, you have way better things to do than... I don't think I was ever prompting Eric to video me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't prompt you to video me either, but Eric didn't, I think, ever want to be like, hey, I know you're busy doing this, but let me film you. Whereas you were just like, I'm interviewing you right now, which is what I needed. And I think Eric too is
having to worry about running a booth as well, on top of his filming duties, which where me, I'm just filming typically. That's where we learned like a 4-person crew for a bigger show is the way to go for that. But then smaller, you can get away with 3 and it's not too bad.
This was a 3-person. You weren't originally gonna go on this. Damien was gonna go until like 2 weeks before. And then he got this tour offer that was really good. And he called us and he's like, dude, I'll make it work. And I was like, no, like we think both at the same time. We're like, no, go do the tour, like we'll figure it out.
That's when I was like, no, I'll drive, Damon. You do your tour and I will do the drive.
Yeah.
This is a good all-around proper vlog, I think.
Yeah.
I think it still was a little above and beyond what kind of needed. Like, I think the newer format is more streamlined.
Yeah.
Whereas that one, we're still kind of learning things. The palette video, I think, that's what.
This was a big video. People like this format.
I want to say this is what got people's attention. The fact that there was just 2 giant boxes of gear coming in.
I mean, not to demystify much, but like, it's less crazy than you think. It's more of just like when you're doing enough volume in shipping, there just reaches a point where rather than shipping a bunch of small stuff, you put it on pallets, and sometimes that means taking multiple deals and shipping them together, and that's kind of 99% of the answer.
So I was unpacking while filming for some reason, which is something you should not do. From a YouTube perspective, I would say what has been helpful, if you haven't noticed already, is that the videos aren't always the same, which for me as a creative, it's nice to film different things.
Right.
And I think as an audience, it's nice to see some different stuff. Not to say like if you have a specific channel, like you shouldn't be filming the same thing. Like if you're, I don't know why it's comes to mind, the lockpicking lawyer. He's always doing lockpicking. It would be weird if he did not do that.
Yeah.
But like for a shop that has many different things going on, I think it's beneficial to show the many different aspects. Like it's not just fresh find videos. Like this is technically an unboxing video. We have like travel vlogs. I think that helps to kind of mix things up, and then you kind of reach different people too.
Yeah.
With the video.
I think that's why these reach so many. People love an unboxing, even people that didn't care about the music gear.
Right, because it's just ridiculous.
And then people that do know music gear know that like this just doesn't happen. Like there's a lot of liquidation websites you can go on in other industries and buy like return pallets from Target, which mind you, that's the world that I kind of came from before diving into guitars. So I had a lot of knowledge in doing things on skids or doing like LTL or like, and so when the guitar buying and the deals went from one guitar to 4 guitars to now in one area that's far away from us, we're doing 16 different transactions. Rather than doing that all as separate shipments, it's like, let's make that pallets. And I'm sure at some point, well, actually, maybe this would be too crazy, but there could be a time when it's like, let's do a truckload, let's contract a box truck. Like a lot of times, all this stuff isn't coming from the same like collection. I do want to say we said something in this video about Winter Park.
Did we?
I said if you know anyone at Winter Park that has a space, have your people talk to my people.
Oh.
And someone's people talk to my people, and that happened, so that's pretty cool. Shout out Killer Guitar Rigs.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because of that unboxing, this video kind of happened. Because then we can see that there's pallet racking now arriving because of all the guitars coming in.
Yeah.
Kind of from that pallet.
Yeah, that finally hit the point where we couldn't keep it all in the shop. So I was actually about to get a storage unit, like an air-conditioned AC, like bigger unit nearby. And then Thomas was like, oh, we're in between shipments right now for Vratum. I can just sublease you basically some of the warehouse space. As with many businesses, Thomas's company, Vratum, didn't completely sell out, but sold out of like a lot of their inventory during
during 2020.
Lockdown. So.
And into 2021. And then no one was making things for a little while, so it was a balancing act. But it was all right. Did a guitar giveaway? That was cool.
Yeah, we did give away a guitar. This awesome Players Grade guitars and lots of Fenders this week. These 2 fresh finds in a row, I think, were really where we got that format down. Yeah. So I graduated college from UCF at the point that we did. Probably the week that awesome Players Grade vintage guitars came out, I graduated school.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right.
Things, big switch up. And the first week of January, we left for what would become a absolutely insane travel stint. I don't know if we can understate what we took on to an extent. Like,
I don't know what you call it. Ridiculous.
Actually, I'll give you a big takeaway. If you want to do something, whether that's with a band, whether that is a YouTube channel, a business, if you want to do something, go get out there and just do it. Like, we went on this excursion started January 9th. The van went from Florida to San Francisco, California. We did a guitar show. We then slowly made our way to Southern California, wrote music for a week in a really cool cabin in Joshua Tree. We played a show in Fullerton, California, place where Fender is from. And then we did another guitar show, and then the same week, we literally Sunday finished the SoCal show, drove back, started the Orlando show on Friday. Yeah. And then I think Tuesday, we flew to Japan.
Yeah.
Flew back. Went straight into a week of conversation piece shows. We went on like, I think a 3 to 4 month.
It was like nonstop.
Just, let's do it. Like, can we do it? Yes, then let's do it. Those few months were crazy. And if you want to make something happen, you kind of have to do that. That doesn't mean you have to do that every year, but like, if you want to make an impression, make an impression. Yeah. This video is really good. I can say that because I didn't make it, I'm just in it, but like.
I do like this video a lot.
This is, I think when I saw the cut of this I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. It's a combination of like a slice of life, lifestyle type vlog, and we show what we're doing as a shop. Because my thing was always, I'm not trying to make videos just for the people that are like super far down the guitar rabbit hole, even though like we love that too, as obviously we are those people. But like, I wanted to kind of just document like the world around this. Just showing the stuff that you don't see. Because I feel like with a lot of vintage guitar shops especially, or even any of these, you know, they show you guitars in a studio and that's it.
I think we do less of this now, like you're saying, it gets so busy at the shows now. So it's almost like you don't see as much slice of life.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe we need to not work so hard. I'm trying to see if I can find the part where you're talking with Norm. There it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Obviously I knew Norm from his YouTube videos, and I had listened to his audiobook as well on Audible. Not sponsored.
I didn't get to talk about Japan. I feel like that.
I mean, yeah, I should say, if I thought that the SoCal video was the one where I was like, this is the one, this was like the Magnum Opus for a minute.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping we're gonna top this pretty soon here.
From the editing point of view, it's really hard to put, this is like a week's worth of content or more into a 20-minute video, like, because there's a lot of stuff that happened that just didn't make the cut, and like it's just not important, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
Would have been cool maybe to have another video or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're working on how to fix that in the future, so we can actually have less of a condensed kind of video that's on this kind of scale.
This was the start of something that I've been talking about recently that I kind of joke about. I call rolling out the red carpet. When I first started doing this, and we first started touring and stuff, we got used to like the bare minimum. We never got any special treatment, and not that we ever would expect that or would ever expect that now. You know, we just kind of did our thing. We definitely flew under the radar and just fended for ourselves. This Japan trip was one of the first times in like, I will say the first time I went to Japan, this happened a little bit too, but where when we got there, the friends that we knew there just like took amazing care of us, and like we got to see some really cool guitars, took us to some cool places, and like we didn't expect that at all, so it was just kind of like out of the blue. All that happens on this trip, and like can't understate enough, like you guys know who you are. Next trip, we meet up with people, same thing. And even like to the point of like recently when we did our Dallas video, like we're going into these guitar shops expecting absolutely nothing, like just like, hey, not even knowing if we can film. And then all of a sudden, you have like the Jimmy Wallace guitar video where like Lucas just like, oh yeah, you want to play 59 burst, you want to do this, like showing us all the back rooms, we go into room guitars, do you want to go upstairs and check everything out? Like it's just, this was the start of like that kind of stuff happening, which is really cool, which was not on purpose.
It's also important to note, like, if you are shooting videos, just ask, because the worst people will say is no. With this one in particular, because of how Japan is, they appreciate their privacy a lot. So it was kind of difficult to shoot a lot of the video here. Some of this is even shot on my phone, which is probably why it's a little shakier than even normal at this point too. Because you want to get that shot, but then you're also recording this line of like, trying to be respectful to people.
Right.
I think it's typically they don't want a big camera. They don't want you being obnoxious. It's the main thing that they're going for. If you just go to these shops and ask, most of the time they're like, oh yeah, no problem at all.
For those of you who don't know us or haven't figured this out, like we're not gonna be very abrasive people. We're not secretly filming stuff we're not supposed to be filming. We're not like, there's a lot of people that do YouTube videos that are very obnoxious about that. Yeah. And so we've always been really
respectful.
Yeah.
Like,
so now we go to play a week of shows with Conversation Piece.
Yeah.
And
while also stopping at,
we went to Casino Guitars.
Met Baxter.
This is a good, yeah, he was great. This was one of those stops that we thought, oh, you know what? On our way to the show, Casino's not that far away. They have a great YouTube channel, and I'd love to check out their inventory. Let's just swing by. It ended up actually being kind of a big deal that we stopped because
this is like one of the second or third times when the red carpet was rolled out, essentially, completely unexpected.
Yeah.
And I think that was super helpful because of this video, it rolled into the Asheville Guitar Show.
Yes.
And the Casino Guitar guys came out and they stopped by the booth and they actually did an interview with you.
Yes,
and you're in one of their videos, which was super beneficial for
we still get people like, hey, I found out about you guys because of Casino Guitars. So Baxter, if you're watching, and we know that you are, appreciate you. Yeah, Baxter was there, Jonathan was there. The whole team was. This is a big moment. This was the first video that got monetized.
March 31st.
This is the video that broke us into monetization. So this is where we broke the subscriber count and the watch hours, was when this came out. And this was what I would consider, even though this wasn't a big video by any means, but this was probably the first one that got the type of reaction that we had been searching for, if you will. Like, this was the first one that I think started showing up on a lot of people's recommended feed. This travel stint continues, mind you. I think we had a...
Oh yeah, we did
I think
Indiana.
we had 5 days off in between, but then we went straight from Nashville to Indiana.
Yeah. These videos are great. They look... Because I go, it's 10 minutes, but like the amount of time that goes into making the video, the amount of time afterwards, like it's no small task, really.
So our plan is, and you guys let us know in the comments where you want us to go, because we literally will, but our plan is to do these videos all over the world. Like, first, all over the US, of course. I know I want to do Austin, Texas. We are talking about doing a Chicago one pretty soon. But getting out there to all these different cities that have a bunch of guitar shops and going to all the major shops. Maybe you find stuff, maybe you don't.
Sometimes you just don't think about going to these places, or you don't, because if you're just traveling through, but some of them are worth going to. Even if you don't find anything you're wanting specifically, there's a lot of cool shops out there.
It's kind of the point too, it's like, it's not all about if we buy stuff or not. Like, some of our most successful trips we'll find almost nothing on. But we've met cool people, or like something else happens there, or you just get to have a good time going to some cool shop.
I'd like to point out
that they were cool with it.
The Nashville guitar show video has 9.3K views. The Indiana guitar show has 11,000. I don't know why Indiana is so exciting to you people. Maybe it's because it just doesn't show up in videos a lot. Is the video better than the Nashville one? I don't think it's any different.
I think they're pretty even.
But it's an interesting observation. And then for some reason, the Dallas Guitar Show video,
that one makes sense,
has 14K views, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but that video is a spectacle.
I think this is probably when everything came together. I think, for me at least, like I knew exactly what I wanted to film. Like,
I can't believe I was alive at this point.
This is when because I also had to top the other Dallas video, so I had to make sure that I did a good job. But no, this is where I finally realized what shots I needed, what was important. A lot of the other shows, I would just film everything. And then the editing part is crazy because you're going through, hours and hours of footage. Whereas this one, I knew like, oh, I need this kind of shot here. We shoot this at this point of time in the day, and I think now it's easier. And we kind of transitioned because a lot of the shows were turning into a glorified Fresh Finds.
Yeah, which we weren't trying to do.
Yeah, so we switched back from having more of that day in the life kind of vlog aspect and less of the fresh finds at the show, I think, with this one too.
Got home from that, things slowed down a little bit, and that was where all the work that we had put in the first bit of the year, the first literally half of the year actually, started to kind of start paying off. Because we did this is the second palette video we did. So I don't know how many people didn't put this together. This unboxing is unboxing the stuff that we got in the February video. Which, as you saw in the February video, there's no secret. It was just like, we went to a bunch of shops. We met up with some collectors that we'd met through either the internet or when we were there in 2020 touring. We did all the deals, and then we consolidated all of it, and we paid to have it all shipped here in a pallet rather than onesie twosie or in smaller boxes.
It just doesn't happen right away, in pallets from another country.
Did you guys really think that we are going to fly to Japan to buy 3 guitars? The reason we went out there is because there was there's multiple collections on the table that are gonna be sold. There was some wholesale deals with shops that we knew were gonna happen, and did the math and said, the best thing we can do is go be there in person, document the journey, go meet more people, which we did, which was awesome, which has paid off now because we're wholesaling guitars from people that we met on that trip still.
It takes money to make money. I mean, it'll pay off in the long run. It's a big cost up front, We're flying literally to Japan and stuff. But I think that's helped the shop get inventory. It's helped even the videos, having more content. it's covering a lot of bases. Not saying your YouTube channel has to be on such a grand scale,
Right.
but you know, don't be afraid to maybe go a little bit out of your comfort zone to kind of, whether it's filming something a little more interesting or just doing something a little different. We kind of started doing more topics then. I really like this What's Up with 70s Fender video because a lot of people don't think much about 70s Fender.
Yeah.
But if you watch the video, I think, not that it's going to necessarily change your opinion, but maybe it gives you another perspective.
Right.
And I think doing stuff like this is out of the comfort zone a little bit too.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
going against the general opinion of the internet.
Yeah.
And so doing a video like this, not to prove anyone wrong, but just to be like,
These are cool guitars.
yeah, these are cool, even if they're not the ideal
Right.
Fender.
It's like, keep in mind, like, people weren't saying that the 70s Fenders were terrible. They were saying, compared to a 1963 Stratocaster, the 1978 Strat is not as good.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, but also it's not $30,000. Like, this is kind of what I mean though when I say the work for the first 6 months started to pay off, because like that 70s Fender video, in January we didn't have enough 70s Fender inventory on hand to do that video. But by then, we were getting such a higher volume of inventory that we did have enough of that stuff to do a video and actually have in-person examples of all that stuff. Yeah. Which I think is one thing that does set us apart from a lot of other channels, is we're not just doing a video on like, oh, here's pictures of guitars. Like sometimes we'll do that too, but
yeah,
here's the actual.
If we have it,
real
examples
examples.
In the video.
The next vlog is Philly. That's the best one, I think, actually.
I don't know why this one was longer, but I think we ended up doing quite a bit for some reason.
This one was somewhat predictable, I think, before we did it, so I think you were able to go into it. It's just like, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Like, there was nothing that we really did in this video that we hadn't done before.
Right.
And this was, we did the show.
We did meet Guitar Hunter.
Shout out Jeremy. This was also a cool show because a lot more people at this show than ever before came to our booth with their own gear that wanted to like sell it to us, so that was really
A lot of
cool.
people had seen the channel too, which was also interesting.
I should note, every guitar show, it feels like more people, aside from Indiana, more people knew us than the last one.
If you're doing YouTube videos, it's really important to line up your title with your description and your hashtags. Even though hashtags aren't super important, they still help with the like search engine kind of stuff. And there's like, this is not a sponsor, but this vidIQ thing is definitely helpful if you're figuring out what to do or how to get your videos to rank better in like search results or just get placed on in people's feeds. And I think that all started coming together in this video as well. So there's been a lot of learning, and a lot of stuff isn't guaranteed either. Like all the videos up to this point have been really good, like title and thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, or like decent enough, but if you can get it more right, then the video does better. As
you can see, and as we're about to see, not all these videos do well. Like, some of them, we've had a cool thing happen where we have like a core base of people that kind of watch everything, which is awesome. Like this day in the life of Guitar Shop was, I think, a really good video that didn't really get that many views, especially when it first came out. It got like our average. I think our average right now is about 3,000, so 3 to 4 or 5, somewhere in there. And this was cool though. Yeah, I like this one because it kind of introduces everyone, because we're all working on top of each other at the same time. Yeah, I'm glad that this video exists to archive, like, this was the way of life for about 6 months, and it's now not, or it's about to not be. So we'll do another one at the new shop. At some point. And we'll see everyone has way more space. We're almost through all of them, all the major ones. Yeah. Top 5 rarest guitars was cool. That was a cool one. I do want to say a big thing was these next 4 videos were all filmed within like 5 days of each other. There was a wholesale deal in Tulsa. Tulsa, yeah. And they were like, oh, we're going to Tulsa, we might as well go to Dallas while we're on the way. Yep. And then we did a guitar shopping video there. We ended up spending way more time at Jimmy Wallace than we thought we would, so that became its own video. Got more of the red carpet being rolled out, and we weren't expecting it. Yeah. So I ended up shooting, you can tell I got better, shooting a lot of this freehand without the gimbal. Because when you come into a shop with your gimbal and you have the microphone, the camera, and everything, you know, coming in, cameras blazing, like, it could be intimidating for a lot of shops. Even if they're okay with you filming, it's just like, now it becomes this intimidation factor. But doing it a little more low-key, I think it
kept people more relaxed. You could make an argument in Jimmy Wallace we could have used. See, again, because we weren't just not used to having the red card. We could have just come in with all the camera gear, like secondary camera set up on a tripod and like gone all out. But we kept it more low key.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's more realistic too, in a way.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to bring you experience it with us, not like as a third party like watching it. At least that's my goal. Like I want to have it so it's like you're just along talking with Alex.
Most of what's happening in these was happening 2 years ago. Before, cool stuff would happen, maybe not as frequently, but there would be all these crazy things that would happen, all these crazy finds that were just never getting filmed. And so the idea of doing this channel was like, interesting things are happening. Let's just bring you guys along for the ride. Oh, we didn't film it, but Drew from Guitars of Tulsa took us around all of downtown Tulsa, and he got us tacos. Shout out Drew.
He paid for things we didn't ask you to, but you did. So when you come back here, we'll return
when
the
he comes to
favor.
Florida, yeah. Let me show you guys around downtown Tulsa, and then come back in the morning. Let's film a real video, and we did.
Which we knocked out. We got our did the wholesale deal.
Yeah.
And then had enough time to film.
Which did not go as planned.
Yeah.
And so we have some takeaways for you at the end. Oh, I think there's a lot of them actually throughout this video. So if you skip to this part, go back and watch the other parts because a lot of the best info is probably in there. But the biggest thing I think I learned was just like, obviously consistency is key and everyone kind of knows that, but there's no instant gratification in this. Even we're now a year in and like we're seeing a trajectory, but we're definitely not there. Like this channel's not that big right now, and we've just put out 52 videos that I think are all at least pretty high quality and fairly good level of production.
Yeah, it's definitely on par with things.
If you're putting out videos and they're not getting the response you want, unfortunately, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, it is good to check your analytics and like make according changes. But at the end of the day, people just want content that they're going to connect with. And I think our channel kind of hit a sweet spot of like, because a lot of people are interested in travel and guitars and all the culture that surrounds this, we had something that a lot of people wanted to learn more about. And I think that this industry has a real lack of documentation on the stuff that is not like, here's a 1959 Les Paul. It's like, how did you find that? Like, we were at a guitar show, and it actually, funny, with a burst, I don't remember what year, but 1958 to 1960 Les Paul came up on the market in Berlin, and he literally flew that day from Texas to Berlin, I think it was Texas, to get it, and he's awesome. But he didn't film a video of it, and I'm like, dude, you gotta be documenting that. Like, that's so crazy. Cool, but no one knows that's happening. So for us, I was like, yeah, we're just this, like, relatively small thing, but like we're doing a lot that you guys don't see, and I think people like to see that stuff.
I think it's important to, if you're starting out, consistency obviously, but it helps if you actually like what you're filming or like what you're doing. Because if you're doing something that's not what you want to do, it becomes more of a job then, and you're not enjoying it. Like if you wanted to build a channel some way, you know, and you're gonna do, I'm gonna stream video games because it's popular. Like if you don't like playing video games, there's no point to 100%. Do a YouTube channel on that because you're just not going to enjoy doing it. Because you should be enjoying what you're doing. So you're going to do that video a week or a month or whatever it is, regardless whether it's getting a bunch of views or not. And I think that's the important thing when you're starting out.
I think that's a good place to end this. I hope you guys that are watching this that know nothing about guitar still enjoyed this and have taken something of value away from it. I can speak for myself and probably Tom is saying we love making all these videos. It's been a lot of fun. Lots of challenges along the way, lots of miles traveled. Next year we're going to be doing a lot too, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. We are literally leaving for tour tomorrow.
Yeah, leave for tour tomorrow, come back, and then another tour in Japan, which means more Japan videos.
And Arlington Guitar Show.
And Arlington Guitar Show.
And then we're going on another excursion in Japan after the tour, so... the rest of the year is filling up really quickly, so there'll be lots more vlogs coming up. We'll see you guys again soon. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you being on the camera today.
Yeah, it's weird, on the wrong side of the camera.
Let us know down below in the comments, if you've watched our videos, what was your favorite video from the last year that we've put out? We would love to hear what you guys enjoyed, because I feel like the answers will surprise us on what people actually connected with most. Like some of the ones that I think are really important maybe aren't the ones that some people are favoring. But I'm interested to see that, and then maybe more than that, if you are doing a YouTube channel that has nothing to do with music or nothing to do with guitar, or even if it does, let us know down below in the comments what that channel is and what you're trying to do. I will check your guys' channels out. I always love seeing new content, and I can speak for both of us when I say we have interests outside of music and guitar, so we definitely want to see what else you guys are doing. It's nice to have a breather sometimes. We'll see you guys in another video soon. Bye.